I'm Shawn Yao, and this is One News Now. Malacanang stood by President Duterte's threat to arrest those who refuse to get vaccinated against COVID-19. Let's talk about this further with Maricel Halili, who joins us live from Mandaluyong City. Hi, Mase. What does this mean? Does this mean that the palace wants COVID-19 vaccination to be mandatory? And if so, why not just say that?
Hi, Sean. Actually, we cannot deny that the statement of President Duterte last night is quite interesting. We asked presidential spokesperson Harry Roque during his press briefing earlier to clarify the statement about the arrest for those who will refuse to be vaccinated. Secretary Roque explained that, of course, the government or the Congress still has to pass a law or an ordinance to be able to do that. But of course, there's a legal basis. That's according to Secretary Roque. In the previous events, we can recall that the Supreme Court has decided in favor of the mandatory vaccines for children to avoid having chicken pox. And so this can be a basis to pass an ordinance or a law for the mandatory vaccination against COVID-19.
All right, what about the issue of face shields, Mase, this very contentious issue? Will the IATF be issuing new guidelines in the light of the Delta variant, or are we just gonna, stand by the original policy here?
Based on the explanation of Secretary Roque earlier, we just have to follow the existing IATF resolution number 88 requiring all Filipinos to wear face shields, whether indoor or outdoor, for added protection, especially now that there are reports of new COVID-19 variants. And according to medical experts, these new COVID variants are more dangerous as compared to the original variant, particularly the Delta variant, the virus that comes from India.
Okay, let's shift a little bit over to the pandemic response of the government. Obviously, there's been a lot of criticism against it. What did Harry Roque have to say at this press briefing over lunch with the IATF regarding flip-flopping on COVID-19 policies?
Well, I believe the critics are actually particularly criticizing the policy of the national government about the wearing of face shield, because if you recall, Sean, last week, President Duterte ordered that the mandatory wearing of face shield will only be implemented in hospitals. And then during the press briefing of Secretary Roque yesterday, he clarified that the mandatory wearing of face shield will be imposed in all indoor venues, and we can remove our face shield in outdoors. But then during the talk to the people of President Duterte last night, he changed his decision and make it once again mandatory to wear a face shield whether indoor or outdoor. Secretary Roque said that there's nothing wrong about the flip-flopping of the decision of the national government, because they are just trying to adjust the policy on COVID-19 depending on the new discovery of our medical expert. In this particular scenario, there are new studies about the Delta variants or the virus that came from India, and they see that it is 60% more transmissible compared to the Alpha variant or that virus which came from the United Kingdom. And so the medical experts advised President Duterte to still impose the mandatory wearing of face shield for added protection.
Story short, we stick to the face shield policy. Now, one locality or LGU that seems to have avoided the IATF's rules is Cebu. Has there been any resolution? Cebu has already said as of last reporting that they are going to stick to their own protocols. What's going to happen there?
Secretary Roque said that it's up to the Interior Department to decide whether the local government of Cebu will be facing liabilities because of these ordinances that they have passed, which is contrasting or contradicting to the policy being imposed by the interagency task force. But the statement of President Duterte during the talk to the people last night was very clear that the national government's policy is more powerful compared to the ordinance passed by the local provincial of Cebu. And so President Duterte said that the policies drafted by the interagency task force must be followed.
All right, waiting to see whether and when they will be following. Now, the U.S. is also sharing its excess stockpile of vaccines, Mase. Do we know now, or with any clarity, how many doses the Philippines is standing to receive from America?
Yes, the United States government has announced that they will be donating about 80 million doses of vaccines to different countries, including the Philippines. Based on the recent reports coming from Ambassador Romualdez, he said that we're expecting about 800,000 to 1 million doses of vaccines, probably AstraZeneca or Moderna, which will be donated by the United States. And we're expecting delivery of this donation probably this month.
All right, what about other vaccines, Mase? Of course, we heard about Secretary Galvez saying that, he made the biggest order, or that he made a big order, 40 million doses of Pfizer vaccines set to come next month. Do we have any update on how many vaccines we're expecting, at least for this week or the next 2 weeks?
So far, based on the reports of vaccine czar Carlito Galvez, the national government has already secured about 115 doses, or 115 million doses of vaccines that will be procured by the national government. This is on top of the doses of vaccines that will be donated or that will come from the COVAX facility. So we're expecting about 10 million doses of vaccines within the month, and we're also expecting a stable supply come August.
All right. Here's to hoping that actually pans out. Thank you so much for all those updates. Maricel Halili joining us live from Mandaluyong City. And Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara has welcomed the move of Cebu lawyers to file a case against the IATF. The lawyers want the national policy on returning Filipinos to be deemed inapplicable in Cebu. In a statement, Guevara said that the move provides a judicial forum to settle an important legal issue. However, the Justice Secretary maintained that all local government units must align their policies with national protocol. Meanwhile, Guevara has downplayed Duterte's threat to arrest those who refuse to get vaccinated. The DILG Secretary said that there is no law that compels mandatory vaccination or criminalizes refusal for that matter. And here are other stories we're keeping our eyes on. Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong will lead a committee that will craft measures against the more infectious Delta variant of SARS-CoV-2. The variant, which was first detected in India, has so far infected 17 Filipinos based on the latest report from the Health Department. And the United States has delivered weapons and other equipment worth 183 million pesos to the armed forces of the Philippines. This new shipment is aimed at enhancing the AFP's counterterrorism and maritime security capabilities. The Liberal Party has reached out to some politicians to form the, quote, broadest possible coalition for the 2022 national elections. Senator Kiko Pangilinan says they have contacted Senators Ping Lacson, Joel Villanueva, and Nancy Binay, as well as Manila Mayor Isko Moreno. Both Binay and Lacson had declined to be part of the Isambayan coalition, while Moreno had expressed openness to run for a national post. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.